I first met Duke at a Perth Business Network event a little bit over a year ago now, and I was really blown away by the quality of the people in the room, the vibe of the people, and to be honest, I didn't know a huge amount about Duke or the Perth Business Network at that time, and I also didn't fully realise how big a deal it was to actually be invited. So I obviously now know that Perth Business Network was started by Duke, and it's a networking organisation that was basically created because Duke wanted to connect really amazing, aligned, dynamic business owners throughout Perth. But it's something that he has done through hand-picking people and personally screening them rather than it being an open invitation. So to get an invite as a guest was a pretty big deal for me. But once I really had the chance to sit down and chat further with Duke, and of course made the decision to join the Perth Business Network, it was so obvious to me why Duke has been so successful in what he does, and that is connecting people that are aligned in their business values but also in their personal values. And again, connection is the word that I associate most with Duke. One of the things that I love doing in my job is something that I refer to as gold mining, and that's basically finding that little nugget of gold or that, unique strength about a client or about their business or brand, and my job is to maximise that. And I also see the same trait in Duke. He's really well versed at picking out people's strengths and connecting the right people to each other, and of course he's built a really successful organisation around that. One of the other things I love about Duke, apart from his incredible dress sense, anybody that's met Duke would agree with me there, but it is his absolute drive and determination, but it is the connection to his values that it stands so far above anybody I've really come across in business. And it's a big thing to say, I know, but there's a lot of people out there that talk about values and that talk about having integrity in business, but there aren't many people that are as ruthless potentially as what they could be, I guess, in terms of really being strict about living by their values and conducting business by their set of values. And I just think Duke is one of the best people at doing this that I've met, and that is one of the major reasons why Perth Business Network has grown as much as it has in a very short space of time. Finally, the thing I love about Duke, and I've just touched on his dress sense earlier, but what it relates to is brand and consistency of brand. And it's really a pleasure for me to watch somebody implement their own brand strategy with the, clinical execution that Duke does. I really, really enjoy every interaction I have with Duke. He's such a warm, lovely, genuine man to be around, and he deserves every bit of success that is coming his way. I have no doubt Perth Business Network will continue to grow, and I hope you enjoy the insights into the unofficial LinkedIn King of Perth as much as we enjoyed making it. All right, so Duke, thank you so much for joining me today. When I first met you, and I can't remember, in fact, when it was that we first met, but when I was introduced to you and we got the chance to properly sit down and have a chat, the thing that really came across to me was your values, and your commitment to those values, I think, has made such a huge impact in the success of Perth Business Network. Can you share your personal values with me, please?
I sure can. Look, I've had 20 years of commercial industry experience, and what I'm good at is actually picking best practice, whether it's from a person or business, and internalizing it and then memorizing it. And about 15 months ago, when I had a chance to start PBN, I thought, okay, I'm going to draw the best of everything I've learned over the last 20 years. And that's how BBN came to life. And I knew that to have a business, it needs to have a successful business. You need to have passion, purpose, and you need values as an anchor.
Absolutely.
So I locked myself in a room for about a whole week to determine what is it that drives me, what is it that I hold, what values do I hold dearly. And I guess at the end of the day, like most businesses, I came to the conclusion that integrity and transparency has to be the root of it.
Yeah. Awesome.
And from there, I guess, as PBN developed, I picked up some other attributes and values I thought I can really subscribe to. It's worked wonders ever since.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
And one of my favourite things about PBN is, and you really, because you have a absolute, I guess control is the wrong word, but you handpick the members and you personally interview them all. It's not about whether it's a big business, with lots of employees. It's about the person and their values and what they're bringing to the table. And that's, for me as a solo business owner, I really appreciate that, because I don't feel like I've got to be a big business to fit into the network.
Yep.
So is that a conscious thing that you've decided to do?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Look, when you make an organization, invitation only, you expose yourself to a big risk.
Yeah.
Because ultimately Perth is a small market as it is.
Yeah.
But I made that tough decision, and for me, I wanted to make it invitation only, and there were 8 attributes I wanted to see in prospective members. The top one is we want to work with companies that are innovative, or at least have a design capacity to do so. But the baseline, I guess, to be considered as a member is you need to be professional, progressive, and engaging.
Yeah.
Because these are the sort of people I enjoy dealing with the most in business.
Great. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I certainly find you to be that way, Dook.
Thank you very much.
You are most welcome. One of my favourite conversations I've had with you was at your one of your 2 offices at Mellow House, and we talked about the tough lessons that you go through in your professional journey, but also in your personal journey, that make you better at what you do.
Yeah.
Would you mind sharing, and you can, because we've all been through more than one tough
Sure.
lesson, would you mind sharing one of those tough lessons you've been through and what you think it's taught you personally or professionally?
Yeah, that's a great question. Look, as you know, I left Perth 3 years ago to go to Melbourne with my young family.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to broaden my horizons and get out of my comfort zone. And I had a really, I guess, tough time in Melbourne, professionally and personally. Professionally because I was in a job that I loved, but had to leave for various reasons, out of my control.
Yeah.
And personally, we had our second child, Tori, in Melbourne, and we had no family or friends there to support us.
Yeah.
So that all led to me, I guess, hitting like kind of a brick wall. And when you hit rock bottom, you have to make some tough decisions.
Yeah.
Like you can give up, or you can make the most of what you have starting from that moment on.
Yeah, exactly.
And for me, that was a magical moment. I decided, okay, I've got, how many years it is left on this earth? 42 years? 40, whatever it is. And I wanted to make every day count.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have impact and make a difference. So for me, the lesson I've learned was that life is full of up and downs. The thing to have, you need to, I guess, you can't make decisions on the fly.
Yeah.
You've got to sit back and assess, and look at the good, the bad, and then come up with a plan on where you want to get to. But ultimately, when you hit these rough patches, you're gonna have to dig deep.
Yeah.
And then what you have to look internally, and it's an exploration that not many of us are willing to do.
So true.
I was very scared to look internally and unpack what Duke is all about.
Yeah.
But the point I got to was that whatever I did, it had to have passion and purpose. So that's the lesson I learned for me personally.
Yeah.
And I think if you live your life with passion and purpose, you can be more motivated, driven, and happier.
Absolutely, yeah, and more inspiring to others. Not
Yes.
that that's necessarily your
My
purpose.
goal, yes.
Yeah, your goal, exactly, but you're doing that by default. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. I've got 2 more questions for you.
Sure.
The word that springs to mind when I think about you, or one of the many words I should say, is connection.
Yes.
You've got an absolute knack for bringing people together, and I can tell when you're at an event that you really enjoy that aspect of your role, and that's again something we've talked about before.
Yep.
What does the word connection mean to you?
Well, it all started in a boardroom in Melbourne. I was prior to leaving Perth and going to Melbourne, I was in sales management. And what I loved about sales was the hunt.
Yeah.
It was like a drug for me. I couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah.
And I thought, it doesn't get any better than this. But when I was in Melbourne in this particular role, I got to connect 2 business leaders together in the boardroom. And I knew that this connection was going to create very powerful outcomes that will last my tenure at this organization. And I thought this was really powerful.
Wow.
And positive and uplifting. And it was from that point that I realized that connecting like-minded people was something I loved doing above and beyond sales.
Yeah.
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 So for me, when you connect like-minded people, there's a lot of positive synergies.
Absolutely.
And I think when you get people who are on the same wavelength in a room, more often than not, magic happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just got goosebumps then when you were talking about that moment in the boardroom, because I think you obviously do that with PBN, but it's about, and I come from a sales background, obviously, and that hunt is definitely, but that's something that you experience. That's an internal experience, but that combination of people, that's a multiplying effect, and that has an impact not just on you, but has ripple effects into the community. So yeah, I can see why you found that such a powerful thing. Yeah.
Well, it was for me, it was so powerful that I knew I had to create an organization where I could connect like-minded people.
Keep doing that, yeah.
And pay the bills out of it.
Yeah.
And to be able to do that, I consider myself to be a very lucky person.
Yeah.
Because I'm pursuing my passion and fulfilling the purpose.
It's awesome. Well, I don't believe in luck, but I think I hear what you're saying. Very grateful that you get to do what you do. That's awesome. All right, my last question. You can take this on a serious note or not serious note. If you could do any other job in the world, realistic or not realistic, what would it be?
Oh, when I was younger, I used to love watching the Summer Olympics.
Yeah.
And there was only 10 seconds of it that I would watch. So it usually goes over 2 weeks, but I only watch 10 seconds.
What is the 10 seconds you watch?
It's the 100-meter final.
Oh, yes.
the
sprinters, yeah.
It was so glamorous, and I thought these people spent their whole life and 4 years of their life just working towards these 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
And I thought, I want to live like that.
I've never thought about that before like that.
So
that's so good.
For me, it was just, I guess, it was just so powerful and glamorous. If there's such a word with 100-meter
No,
race.
there is, of course, yeah.
I thought I would love to do that.
Yeah.
But obviously, I don't have the physique for it. That would be my dream job.
That's a wonderful answer.
To be a 100-meter sprinter.
Yeah, live your whole life for that 10 seconds.
That's right.
I love it. Doug, thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure. My pleasure.